Hello everyone, welcome to Rank&Roll. Today I'll be uploading my first video for what this channel was made for, ranking discographies. I got a lot of inspiration for this channel due to watching Sean Chandler, who does movies. The way he uploads and does additional videos when a new album, or not album, he does movies. Like a new movie comes out in a series, he'll do an updated list. Really like that, and I don't see a lot of people doing that with CDs. I also don't see a lot of country music rankings on YouTube, and I'm a big fan of all kinds of music, including country. So I wanted to see if there was an audience for that. Today, though, for my first ranking, I'm going to upset some people because I'm going to start with the heavy hitter, Kiss. My ranking is going to annoy people. I'm a big fan of the 80s era Kiss. It's the era I grew up with. And I don't want to say everyone ranks based on popularity, but sometimes it feels like everyone is so similar that everyone's just saying, well, this has to be here, this has to be there. Or this has to be number one because everyone thinks it's the worst and they just don't get it. I'm not saying that's everybody or even anybody. It's just how my mind works. I rank based on personal enjoyment, some nostalgia, but also what do I put on most often? If an album like Kiss, for example, that I'm going to do today has 20 albums, there's one album I reach for every time I want to listen to Kiss, or damn near every time. Clearly, that's my favorite album. So that's how I'm going to rank this. Starting with number 20 in last place, I have The Elder. It's just not a good album. I respect what they were trying to do. It just did not work. I also want to say, before I move on to number 19, I ranked these a while ago. Probably a year ago, I did my deep dive and I did my ranking on Music Board. I don't remember every thought I had. One day I'll revisit. Maybe I'll do better, but I'm just going to slightly talk. I'm going to be in depth on every album. 19, Sonic Boom. Late revival album, second to last with Kiss that they've released. It has Tommy Thayer, and outside of a couple songs here, Modern Day Delilah was really good. Say Yeah was good. Those are the only two I can think of off from it from the top of my head if I remember. Probably the two biggest hits off from it. There wasn't much here. I found it forgettable. So, number 19. And 18th, this is where I'm going to start ruffling feathers. Their second album, Hotter Than Hell. There wasn't much here I enjoyed. Production, obviously rough. I know that's what some people like. Sounds raw. Just not an album with a lot of retail value for me. Got to Choose was alright. Hotter Than Hell is obviously good. But other than that, there really wasn't much here for me. And 17th, Dynasty. I almost had this in last place. Let me explain. So, when I was a kid, this was one of the first albums I heard from them besides what my dad would play. And I loved this album. I always listened to it. So when I went and did my revisit, I was very let down. It did not live up to it for me like the way it used to. So, just out of disappointment alone, I want to put it last. But there were good tracks here, After Being Fair, that I still listen to, that find their way in my rotation, so I couldn't do last. I'm going to have a hard time remembering what number I'm on. So 20, 19, 18. 20, 19, 18. 16th place. I have Creatures of the Night. And I have both covers for it. If I get it the right way. It's hard. If you like Heavy Kiss, I can understand why you might like it. But outside of a few songs, Creatures of the Night, I Love It Loud, War Machine, they're big hits off from it. It didn't do a whole lot for me. I didn't need Kiss to be louder. Back to some of my same issues I had with Hotter Than Hell, I have Dressed to Kill next. And I'm not even pretending to remember what place they're in now. But I'm really not sure why outside Rock and Roll All Night, why I ranked it higher than Hotter Than Hell. I think this has more forgettable songs on it, in my opinion. But maybe I just, at the time, enjoyed this one a little bit more. I almost never revisit it. Next up, Psycho Circus. The songs that shine here shine. The rest is forgettable trash. Moving on. Animalize. I remember this album being better than it was. Heaven's on Fire, maybe I got tired of it as a kid. Burn Bitch Burn was fine. But again, even deep cuts, there wasn't a whole lot here that I revisit very often. Next up, Hot in the Shade. I know a lot of people dump on this album. They think it's got a lot of filler. It's too long. I don't necessarily disagree. It is way too long. They could probably cut 5 songs from it. But other than that, there's a lot I genuinely enjoy about this album. And Forever is one of my favorite Kiss songs and power ballads of all time. Monster. I thought this was a solid album. I think it's a strong finish. I know a lot of fans like it even less than Sonic Boom. I enjoyed it. It sounds closer to their 70s style than anything they've done in a long time. And I put this on more frequently than most people would imagine. I think it's a killer album. Kiss Revenge, I thought I would have higher. Kind of in the same vein of people like Creatures of the Night, I thought Revenge was a little harder, and I thought I would rank it higher because of that. Same with Creatures of the Night. But harder doesn't necessarily mean better, in my opinion. But there are some classic Kiss songs here that I do enjoy. Unholy. Take It Off is fun. I don't care how you feel about it. God Gave Rock and Roll to You. You know, again, just the hits. Unmasked, I found completely fun. Shandy is spectacular. Tomorrow I enjoyed. Two Sides of the Coin. I didn't think there was really a bad song here. I think it's underrated, really. Give it a listen. It's a good Kiss album. And this one's gonna bug some people. Carnival of Souls. I got it way too high. It's in my top 10. Listen, we're past the 90s. We're past grunge. It's not like they're too late anymore. Now you can just go back and listen to it as a solid rock album. I think they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. It aged quite well, in my opinion. I play this one all the time. It could have made an argument to be in my top 5, but there are albums I do like better. I just don't think it gets a fair chance. Another one everyone hates, but I like, again, because I am partial to 80s Kiss, is Crazy Nights. Sorry, I blanked on what album I was holding. Crazy Nights was fun. I enjoyed it. And it's got my favorite lineup, which is Paul, Gene, Eric Carr, and Bruce Kulick. Right before that, I really enjoyed Asylum. Asylum was spectacular. Again, this is the era I grew up with. I was born in 88. The Kiss I knew were the 80s Kiss songs that I grew up with in the 90s. I did listen to some 70s Kiss. My dad was a big Kiss fan. But this was the stuff I attached myself to and I love. I'm a big 80s music fan. Give me at number 5. We're in the top 5. Kiss's debut. Outside of Love Theme from Kiss, I don't think there's a bad song here. This is classic Kiss. Everything you need to know and love about Kiss is on this album. I thought for sure this would be my number 1. But it is a debut. It is kind of rough. Spectacular album. Alright, final 80s album. Coming in at 4. Lick It Up. Everything went right. I could make an argument again to put this at number 1 even. And I would say even from here on forward to my top 3 and this one, on any given day, they could all change to be in any position. I love this album. It's the 80s album I put on the most. But when we get to my top 3, as I just said, they're interchangeable. This was a beautiful trilogy, if you will. One of the strongest 3-album runs of any band I've ever seen. And this is my order I have them in today, based on how often I listen to them. And my number 1 is my most listened Kiss album. It has been for a long time. But number 3, I have Kiss Destroyer. I don't think most people would argue with it being a top 3. Most probably put it 1 or 2. But that's the same with any of these 3 albums. So I'm just going to go through them quick. Number 2, Love Gun. Again, spectacular album. I think my dad has said this is his personal favorite. And there are days where this is my favorite. It's one I put on almost as much as my favorite, which, of course, is Rock and Roll Over. I think this is a perfect album. Well, I shouldn't say perfect. This is the way I describe perfect. But there's really not a bad song here. I can listen to this album front and back once a day and probably not get tired of it. I love this album. Anyway, I hope you're okay with my rankings. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, this is my list. It's not necessarily the right one. So if you disagree, just be respectful. Tell me how you would rank them in my comments, and please subscribe. Thank you.